Yesterday, 21 Pilots finally released their live album, More Than We Ever Imagined, live in Mexico City. And I have a lot to say about it, mostly positive things, and I'm going to start with Overcompensate live in Mexico City, which is definitely my favorite live version out of everything. Like, Overcompensate has been the quintessential 21 Pilots opener for over 2 years now, and this is exactly why. Like, everything about the song makes it a perfect concert opener, especially the intro, which gets everyone hyped up, which you can clearly hear on this song. I've seen this song live 3 times. Tyler and Josh have fantastic stage presence every single time they play this. And hearing this version with all the crowd reactions just solidifies this song as the quintessential opener and one of my favorite songs of all time. This is an easy 10 out of 10 favorite live version on this album. Holding On to You live in Mexico City, this song has been a staple of 21 Pilots concerts from basically when it was released to when the Clancy World Tour ended, and it's easy to see why. Tyler and Josh bring all of the energy from the original song to the live show, and even without the visuals, you can clearly tell when Josh did the backflip here on this version. And the bridge with Josh's crazy drumming. He's just drumming so fast as Tyler does the rap verse in the bridge. Like, this version is an easy 10 out of 10, and that bridge is a perfect way to segue into Vignette live in Mexico City. I was definitely the most excited to hear the live version of Vignette over everything else since it wasn't included in the movie. And I'm so glad we finally have this version on streaming, and I can't believe that they didn't include it in the movie to begin with. Like, out of everything, why cut Vignette? Like, there's so much other stuff that could have gone before Vignette. Like, the band performs it so well here, especially when Tyler does that synth solo in the bridge, and we've all seen his keyboard cat act. Come on, we all know what we're talking about. And that synth solo alone makes me slightly prefer this version of Vignette over the original, but only slightly. This is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. Car Radio live in Mexico City. At this point, we all know about the body double trick that they did on the Clancy tour for Car Radio, and the vocals were most likely pre-recorded, and they don't really bring any new energy to the song for me. They don't sound that present, but I'd still rather hear this version over the original because the vocals sound a little more clean and the instrumental is more present. And the outro with Tyler just belting out, and I just sit in silence on top of that building is fantastic. So I'll give this version a 9 out of 10. Tear in My Heart live in Mexico City. The original version of Tear in My Heart is a little generic and overplayed for me, and even though the instrumental doesn't change at all here, there's a lot more energy in this version, and that pulls it above the original for me. But I do wish that the live version of The Craving was on the live album, so we'd have more context for the uke intro of Tear in My Heart that they did here. But I'll give this version a 7 out of 10. Shy Away live in Mexico City. This is easily my least favorite live version out of all the Clancy Tour live versions on this album, but that's mainly because Shy Away is easily my least favorite song out of everything they played on the Clancy Tour. I think this is the best version of Shy Away since it does some interesting things with the instrumental, but since the original is really low on my rankings anyway, this version doesn't hold a candle to anything else on the live album, even though it's a huge improvement over the original Shy Away with the MTV Unplugged-esque drum style in the beginning. So I'll give this 6 out of 10. Heathens live in Mexico City. This is easily the best version of Heathens by a lot. Like, the intro is so good with Josh's fantastic drumming, Tyler's dirty bass, and the crowd just screaming out "watch it" before the instrumental comes in. And when the instrumental does come in, it all sounds so amazing. Like, the bass sounds fantastic, Tyler is singing perfectly here, and just everything they do here just elevates Heathens to this different tier that it never reached before. And the outro of Heathens, fading into Next Semester, is easily my favorite part of the entire Clancy World Tour setlist, and I feel so spoiled to finally have this version on streaming after nearly 2 years since seeing it live for the first time. Like, this is an easy 10 out of 10. Next Semester live in Mexico City. Just like on the album Clancy, this song is so close to being my favorite, but Overcompensate just barely beats it. I absolutely love the live bass here that Tyler just knocks out of the park, and Tyler also knocks it out of the park in terms of his singing. And Josh's amazing drumming on this version is so good, and I could listen to this version forever. The drums are so fantastic here. And the outro is also fantastic with the echoing ukulele and vocals in the last verse, like ending the song perfectly as per usual as the sold out crowd just goes absolutely insane for it. I could probably listen to this version on loop for a day and never get tired of it. This is an easy 10 out of 10, one of my favorites on this whole live album. Routines in the Night live in Mexico City. This is a version that I've been waiting for since they first played this song live. I always had an issue with the fake drums and the vocal layering on the original, and to finally have a live version with real drums and one dominant vocal just fixes so many issues I had with the original song. I wouldn't call this version perfect since the song doesn't really have any interesting instrumental changes, but it's easily the best version of Routines in the Night for me, and it's not even close. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. The Line live in Mexico City. Like Routines in the Night, I've been waiting for this live version since they first played The Line live at the Game Awards 2 years ago. Tyler sounds so much more present in his vocal performance than on the original song, and the screaming in the last chorus is absolutely perfect. I still love the original song for its somber tone, but I love how open this version of The Line is, and just everything sounds so present, like we're actually there in the stadium where they first played this live. And it's really cool that this is the live debut of The Line, because that was such a good opportunity to record it and release the movie with the live debut and release the live album with this. It sounds so good here. Easy 10 out of 10 for me. Mulberry Street live in Mexico City. This version of Mulberry Street is easily an improvement over the original version for me. The original version has really compressed instrumentals to me, and they're so much more open on this version, which makes for a much better listening experience for me. And anyone who saw the Clancy World Tour knows exactly what I mean when I say the light show during the last chorus was phenomenal. It was just so fun to be a part of that live when they played this song. It was so good. And I'd probably give this version an 8 out of 10. Navigating live in Mexico City. I would definitely put this version above the original since everything sounds more present and energetic here, but nothing really new is happening in this version, so it isn't a large improvement for me, but I'd definitely rather hear this than the original because of how much presence Tyler and Josh have on their respective instrumentals. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Nico Dirty Soul live in Mexico City. It definitely tracks that this was the only combination of songs for the live album. Nico and the Niners and Heavy Dirty Soul work so well next to each other in the set list, especially with the transition between them. And to talk about them individually, Nico and the Niners sounds fantastic here. The chorus has a little more groove in it than the original for me, and Heavy Dirty Soul sounds fantastic with Tyler's amazing vocals and Josh's iconic drumming here. The last chorus is also so much more explosive here than on the original version, especially with Tyler's screaming. And these two versions are definitely worth the 7 minutes. This is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. It's so good. Guns for Hands live in Mexico City. This version is inches above the original for me, mainly because of the more present instrumental and vocals and that softer piano intro, which is pretty cool. It's still my favorite version of Guns for Hands, but not by that much. But the transition into Lavish at the end is so well done at the concert and really cool to hear at the end of this version. There are so many fantastic transitions in the Clancy tour. I'm so glad they finally released the live album. This version is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. Lavish live in Mexico City. There isn't really a lot to say about the first verse or the first chorus since they're letting the backing instrumental play the whole time and Tyler doesn't sing the first chorus, but he and Josh were busy walking down the aisle during the first chorus, so I'm not going to complain. We all know what I'm talking about, all who have been to the Clancy World Tour. It does get better for the second verse and second chorus since Josh is on the drums and Tyler is singing the whole time, and it all sounds really great in those sections. This is easily a better version of Lavish for me. Like, I would definitely rather hear this. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Ride live in Mexico City. This is easily a better version of Ride for me over the original, since the vocals are a lot better here, but it's not my favorite version of Ride since it has the same instrumental. I do prefer other live versions that play around with the instrumental more. And it is a really fun novelty inviting kids to sing the last chorus of Ride with Tyler, and the kid at this show was screaming her lungs out at this concert, which is really cool to hear on this version. Like, there's so much, like, really present instrumental and singing on this version. I'll give this 7 out of 10. Paladin Straight live in Mexico City. Even though this version of Paladin Straight doesn't have the last verse, everything it does have sounds absolutely perfect. The instrumental is so sentimental, and the vocals complement that perfectly from both Tyler and Josh. The bridge also sounds incredible, with Josh singing Bandito while Tyler sings the actual bridge, and they both sound so good. And then Josh going crazy on the drums during the last chorus while Tyler just yells out those lyrics is such a great way to end this version. I think I definitely prefer the original version over this version, since the original has more complex and intricate production than this, but this version is still fantastic. Easy 10 out of 10 for me. Jumpsuit live in Mexico City. The outro of Paladin Straight with Nico saying hello Clancy and then fading into this version of Jumpsuit is so cool, and Tyler and Josh bring absolutely all the energy from the original song to this version of Jumpsuit, and they do it so well here. The bass sounds fantastic, the drums sound incredible, and even though Tyler doesn't scream out the last part of the song, the instrumental is definitely explosive enough to make this version sound basically perfect. This is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. Midwest Indigo live in Mexico City. On Clancy, this song feels really out of place to me because it's talking about being cold and ice gaps in an album full of literal fire imagery. So it's just a little weird, but I do think it's more forgivable in a live setting because it's blended with so many different songs. Tyler is singing really well on this version, and Josh is just going nuts on the drums as always. The bass also sounds really good, and the whole song sounds a lot more open and present than the original, so I'd definitely rather hear this version, especially with that fantastic synth outro that ends the song really well and transitions into Stressed Out perfectly. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Stressed Out live in Mexico City. This is the version of Stressed Out that we all needed. The instrumental sounds amazing, especially the bass, and Tyler is singing so well on this version. And the main thing that everyone highlights about Stressed Out on the Clancy tour is that heavy, explosive outro, which is easily the best part of this version, and a perfect way to end the song in such an explosive way, and you never recover from hearing this live. It's just so good. This is an easy 10 out of 10 version. But last and certainly not least, Trees live in Mexico City. Trees ends every 21 Pilots live show, and finally having an official live version on streaming from a sold-out show, their biggest headline show at that point, is so satisfying. All the energy is there from the band and the crowd, and Tyler and Josh are performing so well here on this version. Tyler's singing is amazing, and Josh's drumming is still perfect as always. I definitely put this version slightly above the original for me, since the song itself feels like it was made to close out concerts, and that's exactly what it does here on this version. And it does it so well, especially when Tyler and Josh both go crazy on those giant drums that they go on for the end of Trees. And then the fireworks, you can hear the fireworks go off after this song ends. And then Tyler and Josh doing their classic goodbye, we are 21 Pilots and so are you, we'll see you next time. And then after that, the Lavish track playing and then the whole song fading out, ending the whole live album is just such a perfect way to bookend this whole live album experience. This is an easy 10 out of 10 version for me. And my overall thoughts on this live album, I was heavily anticipating this for nearly 2 years since the Columbus shows of the Clancy World Tour, when they said that they were recording those shows for a live album, but then it's weird because if they were recording those for a live album, why they end up releasing the Mexico City show on the live album? But we'll probably find that out on the Q&A they do later today. But anyway, I was heavily anticipating this, and it was so worth the wait for me. I've seen all of these songs live before, and it really felt like I was back at the Clancy World Tour, and the whole live album brings back a lot of great memories for me. So, with the great memories and with the amazing live presence that 21 Pilots brings to every show, I'm going to be obsessively listening to this live album nonstop for a very long time. And this live album is just fantastic. I'm so glad it's finally out. And I'm so excited to finally see the movie again on the watch party. So, I'm going to go.